Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It is time to Redux the Mega Storage. Real quick, before we get started, there will be a world download of everything you see here in this video down in the video description, so you can go ahead and download that. It will be a 1.18.2 download, but you can go ahead and open that in 1.19, no problem. I started developing this in 1.18.2 and just decided, you know what, let's just go ahead and keep it there for any servers that still haven't updated if this is something you wanted to use. But let's get into what we've done on this redesign. Recently, I did a video on the 3 levels of AutoSorters in Minecraft, and one of the things I mentioned in the 3rd level there was, this isn't even the final version. There are improvements I would like to see made, that type of thing. So what I've actually done here is made those improvements. So one of the things we've done now is we've extended out the chest halls. This is still the same design by RAFQ, Command Leo, and the Glotserify, and we've got 2 of them. So now we have enough room for 1,408 items. Now this is currently more than there are stackables in the game, but we can future-proof. So in the world download, if you go down to the bedrock level, you see there's actually another copy of this build right below it. So this is a Lightmatic taken from the hardcore world of RPG Deco. He was kind enough to grab a Lightmatic after he built it, and we've pasted it here so you can see all the block layouts that he did if you wanted an example of a block layout and the filters there. Then it's also a great option for stress testing. You see anything that was missed just ends up right here. If you check out his Twitch channel, he's done a lot more work on the deco around this. I just wanted to include it without the deco because we're just talking storage, not deco here. We don't talk much deco on this channel for obvious yellow concrete reasons. But after that storage video came out, he asked, if maybe he could make some customizations to it. He wanted to have more room to store everything in the game without a multi-item sorter. So we took out the multi-item sorter, extended the chest halls. We've added in a different bulk system. So we have more protections in the bulk system, and I'll go over that in a bit. But he just asked if there were some customizations he could get to it, and I was happy to oblige. And he actually built it by himself in hardcore. So that was the first improvement, is increasing the space in the chest halls. And, like I said, again, that's more than there are stackables in the game. But I did mention in storage, you always want to make sure that you leave extra room. So we already have these slices built out. So whenever the game updates and there are new blocks added, all we need to do is just fill in the filters and everything's built and it's already chunk loaded. One of the other optimizations I did was actually moving that chunk grid this time. So that was one of the things I pointed out, is we couldn't have a portal at floor level. As you can see, we've got the chunk grid here with just these glass outlining the actual chunk borders. So I can turn on chunk borders here and we can see, the yellow is the entity processing, the green is the main chunk. And then around here, we've just meant this to be built at sea level. So I just filled this in with water. So you build this at this height, and then you can have a portal perfectly going to the nether roof here. So I pair up on the nether roof there. And then the chunk loading grid goes into the nether. This is still at hopper speed, so this is not using an item unloader array. And if you really wanted to get into that unloader array, by all means, on Storage Tech, the Glotserify has released his item loader array. Glotz has released his design for the item unloader array. But in this case, we have made the improvement where, like I said before, everything was going up bubble columns, and we don't really need that. So now it's just starting at the top and coming down. And then the bulk haul has also been improved with some of those improvements that I said. So we're still using the same sorter and box filler that we have here, but we've added in a little bit more storage. And then we also have locking here. So if this gets full, so if we have these 4 double chests plus the hoppers plus the dispenser all full up, then it's going to actually come back up here and lock up this filter. So it won't take in any more of those items. It'll go to overflow, signifying that it's full. So we don't have any item loss there. And then a lot of the shulker box displays that I saw, what they do is when you empty out a shulker box, it will automatically then break it and replace it with a new shulker box. I wanted this to be more if you have, let's say you're starting with a partial and I'm just going to take this with me. So when we break the shulker box, it then replaces it with a new one. But then we just have this down here instead of being taken away by a water stream. We can just walk down and pick it up and go on with our day. And that's just being done with these observers here. And then we also have this little bit back here so that the first time that a box comes through, it'll actually go ahead and spit it out there as well. So let's just simulate the first box entering. I put it in there. We can see it spits it out there for us. Again, nothing against those other box displays that do exist out there. This was just kind of what me and Draco talked about that we'd like to see in that kind of storage. So there's still a lot in Storage Tech that is, assembling things that other people have done, to kind of put them together as puzzle pieces to make the storage you want. And then there's also a bit of, I'd really like this feature, so I'm going to modify things a little bit. We are employing a item recycler here, so the items do go back into a hopper, then get spit back out. That's to reset their despawn time. Since the time that it takes to travel through this is quite long because it's much longer hauls now, we want to make sure those items don't just despawn before they get there. We've added in a shulker box filter so that we can get shulker boxes out. So these would be the empty shulker boxes that you put into the unloader. So we still have the same unloader here that can take in both loose items or shulker boxes and then dispenses those out into the water streams. And then the empty shulkers come here into these slots. We have that over here because then we also added on the unstackable sorter by Command Leo. This is available as a Lightmatic in the Storage Tech Discord from Command Leo, so that's something you can check out, but you don't want to be putting shulker boxes through there because that will break it, so that's why we have the shulker box filter first, and then the unstackable sorters. So we got potions, flint and steel, shears, boats, water buckets, lava. Now this did not have the powdered snow module on it. I did not go ahead and add that because it's powdered snow. But I did add a system for flashing lights here. So if this slice were to fill up and that hopper now fills up, it's actually going to blink these lights as a signal that, yeah, you should empty this out. And then anything that does come back through there ends up over here in the overflow. So we just increase the overflow area, and we've made it this time so that it's all hopper locked, and we've just done that in kind of a real basic way of we just have lines of sticky blocks and redstone blocks that push up against the hoppers. If we go down below the floor right here by the unloader, I have included a series of hermit shulker boxes. This is so that you can go ahead and stress test this system. Now, this particular one here that I provided does not have any actual filter items in it except for that gravel there and the granite and the bulk, just to show how that would get loaded. So this, you can make your own block layout however you want to do it here. But the build from Deco does actually have the filter items in it, so you can go ahead and grab those hermit boxes from that build up there and just toss them in here and stress test the system and see what you like. If you want to change things around, by all means, you can then do that and test that. You note here, this Lightmatic was taken before we added in the overflow and the unstackable sorter, so that's not on here, but that is up on that one. Down here are a few separate builds, so you can see those for yourself in more detail without other redstone around them. So this is Command Leo's unstackable sorter. This is a hidden XP bottle dispenser that we made for Deco. We have the same rocket dispenser that's going to dispense 32 rockets on a button push just underneath the floor. This is the chest haul slice that we used. Once again, the mass-ish item crafter. You know, probably check out, there are a lot more detailed mass item crafters. So this is a mass-ish if you want to do a decent amount of mass crafting, but not if you want to do a crap ton of mass crafting. And then the item unloader here that we have that will unload both loose items and shulker boxes just on its own, so you can just see that. So that means it's done, right? This is the ultimate, perfect, no changes needed storage system. No, not at all. There are so many improvements in here that were made that I'm happy I did, but there are still certain things, you know, like the bulk display here. I described earlier how there are systems out there that will automatically give you a new box if this box gets emptied. This system doesn't do that. It only gives you a new box if you break this box. This doesn't have an MIS at all. And, you know, again, it would be, I don't know why you would build this much storage space and then still have an MIS, but maybe you're playing on a server that uses, you know, the Mobheads data pack or something like that. And so you've got all those drops that need to be sorted out. So you want to add in an MIS somewhere. I did not add on a powdered snow sorting module to this. If you don't pay attention to the blinking light and empty out your shulker boxes, then the unstackable sorter is going to break. If you put your buckets of tadpole through this system, they're going to get dumped out with the water filter and not get sucked back up. So they'll be gone. Maybe you don't want to actually build your storage in the air, and then you have to actually realign all these portals then. This is the wireless system that's going to turn on those chunk loaders. What happens if you actually do run out of items? I mean, we have here 3 pieces of bamboo, so this should keep our system plenty full enough to be able to do that. But, you know, just what happens if you don't have an item, it's not going to turn on the chunk loaders. So this is not the end-all be-all. There are many different permutations of storage systems out there that fit different needs and different desires. So there is not necessarily one that's, oh, this is best, this is worst, whatever. There are tons of other chest hole designs out there. I just really like the compactness of this one. And that's why, you know, for the one that, you know, Deco had requests on, I decided let's do this kind of display because that would be more in line with what we're going to be doing with bulk, where we're going to be manually wanting to take out our own boxes, things like that. So again, check out the Storage Tech Discord. There are going to be a bunch of links to different types of storage systems that you can do, that you can puzzle together into your own system that best suits your needs. But if this is something you're interested in, again, World Download is down in the video description. I will catch you later. Have a good one. Bye.